A dark, gritty anime is well done when in each and every episode, you get cold, dark chills up your spine, not knowing what can happen next. Especially when some of your main characters are just batshit crazy, or just purely insane. And that's what I'm here to bring you guys today. The top 10 dark horror animes with crazy MCs. As always guys, if you could leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, it would help out a lot. We're on the road to 10k subscribers, and with your help we can make that possible. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. When They Cry, Higurashi. Maebara Keiichi, an ordinary high school boy, is transferred to a new school in Hinamizawa, a small rural village. At the outset, everything seems peaceful, and Keiichi becomes friends with a nice group of schoolgirls with whom he spends many idle summer afternoons. Suddenly, violence encroaches upon the blissful peace of the village, and Keiichi becomes entangled in an endless cycle of fear and death. The inconsistent but inevitable horrors of Hinamizawa are told and retold, becoming an endless and escapable nightmare of insanity. Number 9. Elfen Lied. Lucy is a special breed of human, referred to as a Diclonius, born with a short pair of horns and invisible telekinetic hands that lands her as a victim of inhumane scientific experimentation by the government. However, once circumstances present her an opportunity to escape, Lucy, corrupted by the confinement and torture, unleashes a torrent of bloodshed as she escapes her captors. During her breakout, she receives a crippling head injury that leaves her with a split personality. Someone with the mentality of a harmless child possessing limited speech capacity. In this state of instability, she stumbles upon two college students, Kota and his cousin Yuka, who unknowingly take an injured fugitive into their care, unaware that it is only time before the murderer in her awakens again.
She's beautiful. So pretty.
Number 8. Shiki. Encased by trees that are used to make grave markers, Sotoba is a village thought to be surrounded by death, a fact that soon literally becomes the case. One summer, a series of mysterious and untimely fatalities begin to plague the small rural town. With a higher than normal mortality rate for the time of year and each cause of passing remaining unknown, Toshio, a local doctor, and Seishin, the temple's vice chief monk, become suspicious and take it upon themselves to investigate. However, as the deaths begin to pile up, more people begin to wonder just what is behind this sudden epidemic. Could it have anything to do with the bizarre Higurashi family that recently moved to the village?
Hey, wait a minute.
Number 7. Another. 26 years ago, something terrible happened in a middle school's third-year classroom. A popular, talented student named Misaki suddenly died, and the ramifications of that incident have caused each third-year class since then to live in fear. It is now 1998, and Koichi Sakibara has just transferred into the notorious classroom, curious about the mysterious secret that his peers are hiding from him. He's drawn to one enigmatic girl named Mei Misaki, a quiet student who wears an eye patch and warns him about getting involved with her, and continues to seek her out against the pleas of his classmates. And that's when people begin to violently die. Number 6. Parasyte The Maxim. All of a sudden, they arrived. parasitic aliens that descended upon Earth and quickly infiltrated humanity by burrowing into the brains of vulnerable targets. These insatiable beings, which hold no regard for human beings as a whole, acquire full control of their host and are able to morph into a variety of forms in order to feed on unsuspecting prey. 16-year-old high school student Shinichi Izumi falls victim to one of these parasites, but it fails to take over his brain, ending up in his right hand instead. Unable to relocate, the parasite, now named Migi, has no choice but to rely on Shinichi in order to stay alive. Thus, the pair is forced into an uneasy coexistence and must defend themselves from hostile parasites that hope to eradicate this new threat to their species.
この子だけはお願いします。お願いします。この子だけは。ダメ。子供も殺す。やめて。バー。
Number 5. Inuyashiki, Last Hero. Ichiro Inuyashiki is a compassionate man who always tries to help others. But his family doesn't appreciate him, and at 58 years old, Ichiro is distraught to learn that he's dying of cancer. In the same city lives Hiro Shishigami, a high schooler whose personality is quite the opposite. He is cherished by his family, but Hiro is dissatisfied with life and reserves his limited compassion for the very few people he cares about. One night, an alien light hits the Earth, and both people are killed. They are restored by the extraterrestrials and given awesome new abilities. But how they each use their new powers are vastly different. Some use it for good, and others use it for evil. Number 4. Future Diary. Yuki is a disaffected middle school boy who has no dreams or goal in life. In fact, the only thing he has is his diary. Writing down everything he observes and documenting every thought, the young boy uses it as an outlet for his imagination. One morning, however, Yuki wakes up to find his cell phone filled with diary entries for the next 90 days. Thinking nothing of it, he continues his morning, until he begins to realize that everything on his phone is rapidly coming to pass. And it isn't just mere coincidence. Now, Yuki suddenly finds himself thrust into a survival game against other future diary owners to become the new Lord of Time. Stuck with a beautiful but messed up in the head secret admirer following him around, he must do his best to keep them both alive. Number 3. Monster. Dr. Kenzo Tenma is a genius surgeon working in post-Cold War Germany who has a bright future ahead of him. He is admired by his colleagues, loved by his patients, and due to marry his boss's daughter, the beautiful Eva Heinemann. One day, when two patients in desperate need of emergency surgery are wheeled into his hospital, Tenma faces a terrible choice of saving the orphan boy who came first, or the mayor of Dusseldorf, whose recovery would raise the hospital's profile and boost his own career. Against the demands of his superior, Tenma does what he believes is right and saves the child. However, his decision not only damages his prospects, but unleashes a chain of events so horrific that it might have come from the depths of his worst nightmares. Laden with guilt, Tenma begins a journey across Germany in search of a formidable young man who will challenge his morals, his love for life, and his very insanity.
Did all go according to plan? Mostly.
Number 2. Terror in Resonance. Painted in red, the word Vaughn is all that is left behind after a terrorist attack on a nuclear facility in Japan. The government is shattered by their inability to act, and the police are left frantically searching for ways to crack down the perpetrators. The public are clueless, until 6 months later, a strange video makes its way onto the internet. In it, two teenage boys who identify themselves only as Sphinx directly challenge the police. threatening to cause destruction and mayhem across Tokyo. Unable to stop the mass panic quickly spreading through the city, and desperate for any leads in their investigation, the police struggle to act effectively against these terrorists.
Basic employment, marriage, it's all impossible now. Well, fine then. I've restrained myself all this time, but what's the point? I might as well be what they say I am.
Number 1. Psychopaths. In the future, a system called Sybil presides over the country and provides order to every facet of life. It dictates which job fields citizens should go into based on aptitude tests, and can even read each resident's mental state and predict which ones are likely to commit crimes in the future. Fresh from exams, Akane Tsunemori is beginning her career as an inspector, a specialized police officer who works to apprehend these latent criminals and stop crimes before they happen. But not all that get caught are eliminated or jailed. Some join the police force as enforcers to provide insight into criminals' minds, and Akane is warned not to get too close to them, as they're considered little more than hunting dogs. Though skeptical of this advice, and Sybil's judgment, Akane is determined to work together with her enforcers to protect the peace of her city and its inhabitants. Whew! Hell of a video, guys. Well, as always, if you made it this far, might as well subscribe, and I congratulate you, cause you are a real patron. Also, let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the video? And if you have any video suggestions, I will gladly listen to your opinions. With that being said, you guys, see you in the next video.